And I would like to take this chance to thank Dr. Niall Muldoon and his office for the professionalism and the kindness that they showed when I went to them for help recently for some young constituents in North Kildare. Their families too were delighted. They get so used to knocking on doors that don't budge that when one finally opens, it's such a relief. It's such a relief to them, and especially when it opens with a welcome. We do indeed need a better normal for our children post-COVID, and I'm anxious that we all do all we can to help here. Because in my constituency in North Kildare, I have children with deep suffering post-COVID on top of their deep suffering pre-COVID. They can't see a consultant for chronic pain or a psychologist or therapist for anxiety or depression, and school places are a real issue, especially for children with special needs. They can't get their teeth seen to, although it hurts them to eat, and often they're cold because their mum and dad can't put on the heat. And this winter it's going to be especially hard for them with talk of energy prices and with climate change on the way as well. It's going to be a real issue that we're going to have to tackle. So many too can't rely on having a home of their own, or I don't know if you managed to have a few days break this summer, but I remember as a young child myself, when you'd go on holidays, you didn't want it to end, but going home to your own house and getting into your own bed that night, that was such a comfort. And the fact that we have any children in Ireland, in this state, going to bed, not into their own bed, not knowing what bed they're getting into, is something that we just can't excuse that anymore. Too many children are spending their childhoods on waiting lists and housing lists, and it's not even a Halloween, but some children, homeless children, are worried about will Santi know where to find them. So when it comes to health, mental health, dental health, housing, caring, education, special education, too often our children have been ignored. It's no wonder the office of our Ombudsman for Children is so busy, and we need this better normal. As the Ombudsman documentation states, and it has already been stated here today, out of 40,000 children, 8,000 will leave the maternity hospitals to start their lives in poverty. It's 20% of children born in this state in poverty. It's just devastating for a first world state. We can be under no illusions on the scale of the work involved in this initiative or the depth of the suffering, but I believe there is great will in progressive parties to tackle the inequities, the inequalities and the injustices damaging such young lives. And we in Sinn Féin will certainly play our part and do all we can to help.